What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the final mecha from Giant Saber Space Deleter, and that is Uranus Saber. Or I think it's Uranus Saber. I have seen multiple names for this guy in the past couple of months. I've seen Uranus Saber, Great Saber, Star Saber, and Galaxy Saber. I think the full name is Uranus Saber, but I'm not completely sure on that. His alt mode, or his vehicle mode, is that of a space boat. It's literally a space ship. It's a very large, very long alt mode. It is not without its problems, though, even though I think it looks really awesome. I love the trident here on the front. The paint is good. The overall feel of the mode is good. The issue I have has to do with the way that it kind of sits. So if you hold it up by the middle component, you'll see that the connections aren't that strong in the front and in the back. And I want to say that's due to weight, or the connections might just be sloppy. Also, I really don't like this crane arm up here. I guess it's supposed to be a mast, but it's a crane arm and it's kind of dumb. But that's just me. So let's go ahead and get into the transformation. Uranus Saber's transformation is actually pretty easy. To start with, we're going to come up to the front and remove the dragon head, pop off the little cannons, take the back plate here and remove that, and just for giggles, I remove the crane just to keep it out of the way. Then come to the front and remove the front part of the ship, and come to the back and remove the back part of the ship. The back part of the ship will form the legs. Flip the feet up, push the legs out and separate them, and just be wary that, that they do have a tendency to pop apart very easily. And on top of that, the joint that's here at the upper thighs is pretty loose. So for that, we put up his legs, take the center section and fold the head over the combiner head and snap that into place. Turn the figure around and put the giant star gray piece on his butt and attach the crane so that the joint allows the crane hook to bend down. And you would think this might become a third leg. It does not. Next, take the fronts of the ship and split them apart, fold up the wings, and then you see inside there are these pegs and they slide around. You want it so that the sliders are all the way towards the center, and then attach the arms. And yes, he unfortunately suffers from no real hand syndrome, though the hand is molded into the inside of the front of the boat. See the leg just collapsed there? There we go. Next, we'll take the dragon, fold up the one connector, and just use the other connector and connect it to his chest, and fold down the gold bits. And then we take the guns and attach them to the very top of his shoulders. Uranus Saber is a very good looking mecha. I really, really do appreciate the overall aesthetic. The gold, the blue, the grays, and the orange all work phenomenally well. And it's just a neat looking bot. I don't like the fact that he doesn't have any real hands, but I can deal with it. It's not actually that big a deal. He doesn't have any weapons that he needs to hold, and overall he just looks pretty darn impressive. He stands well, if a little bit top-heavy, and he's really good looking on the shelf. Giving you guys a quick 360-degree look at the figure, you can see that from the front he looks fantastic, and he looks pretty decent from the side. The back has a little bit much going on, and he is leaning backwards, and that just has to do with the thighs, or those thigh connectors, not being that strong. And plus, the strength here on his stomach connector isn't that strong either. But overall, he looks really good. I didn't think blue and orange would look good together, but it does. Here's Uranus Saber with his other two Saber brothers, Solar Saber and Planet Saber. And yes, all three do combine. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it, but first I'm going to do the partial combination of these two guys first, and then we'll come back. So after disassembling Uranus Saber and
sort of halfway forming Galaxy Saber, we're going to go ahead and get him combined. Now the combination is a little bit nuts, so we'll start off with the core being this part of Planet Saber. To begin, we're going to go ahead and take the top here and fold the head back and flip out the combo head and drop that on top of our already partially combined dude. Next, we'll take this gray section, actually open it up, and this will become his chest. Now there are these little channels that these sections will slide into, and just getting that lined up is a little bit tricky, but once you get it, it's good. Next, we'll take the front of the boat, make sure the peg is all the way slid towards the front of the boat, then fold out the fists for this dude, or this part, and just trying to figure out which one is which. And this will, the hook that we have flipped out here will actually peg inside, and then we can give him some arms. Now you could have it up here. That actually I think is the way it's supposed to go. So we'll do that on this side as well. Like so. And then we take these folded up tires and they get pegged into the outside of the arms, which is kind of silly in all honesty. Next, we take the cannons, and the cannons are really supposed to go like right here, but it kind of works, I guess. Then we take the dragon head, flip that open, and it is supposed to peg in up here, so we have to flip the head up and flip that up, our connector port out, and peg it in. Then finally, we take what was the head part from our Solar Saber. That becomes the chest. And getting that lined up is actually kind of the hardest part. And finally, we turn the unit around and take the legs here and unlatch them on the sides, slide them out, and then open them up to form giant solar panels, and then slide them back, connect them. And this whole unit will stick to the back of the figure. And I like to do it with the heaviest part pointing down. Sometimes that doesn't go in though. Last but not least, the claw. This actually forms a weapon. So we plug it in to that bit, we plug it in with this piece that's left, and then finally we have the handle, and that pegs in. And ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you Cosmos Saber. Cosmos Saber is large and imposing and kind of really ridiculous in the best way possible. This is what I wanted from Super Sentai the last few years that quite frankly we just haven't gotten. But the Chinese, well, Giant Saber and Space Deleter have come up with it in spades. I'm trying to give you guys a better look, but my tripod is just, well, actually my tripod is literally falling apart, but that's beside the point. The overall aesthetic of the figure and the combined mode is pretty good and interesting. And I just love it, even though it's absolutely ridiculous. His weapon is this giant double spear, which I'm not actually sure which way he's supposed to hold it. On the front end, you've got this spear, and then on the back end, you've got double drills. I'm assuming it's supposed to stand like this, with him holding it, but I'm not entirely sure, as I can't find any videos of him online. For a height comparison, here is Titan-class Devastator from Transformers Generations Combiner Wars. Yeah, both these guys are pretty big. Overall, Uranus Saber is pretty cool, and if you have the other two, you could form this giant Cosmos Saber, which is also rad. I'm really glad I was able to pick these figures up over at Sirtoys.com, and I really hope you guys are able to as well. I am really, really looking forward to seeing what the Chinese market comes up with next in terms of Power Ranger themed series. So gang, as always, I am Baltmatrix. I see you to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to stick around for my next video review.